Yeah, Nas's brother died, didn't he? I don't know how he died, but he died a few days ago. You know, that little snide. You know, that's the brother, you know, the snidey brother of Nas's, you know, tried to like go to the papers, you know, to try and discredit Nas when Nas cut him off financially, you know, after giving him handouts for 20 years. You know, when Nas was boxing and he was making a load of cash and his brother was just milking it, you know, just fucking milking the money from his brother Nas. But then Nas one day said, you know what? I'm not giving you any money anymore. I've had enough of giving you money, you know, you're a grown man. I'm not giving you any more money. I've given you more than enough money. Yeah? If you hadn't invested that money wisely in 20 years that I've been giving to you, you know, it's on you. I'm not giving you any more money. So Nas cut him off, innit, financially. So his brother tried to like run to the papers, you know, dissing Nas. You know, said, oh, Nas is morbidly obese and he robbed Brendan and he fucking treated Brendan like a cunt and this and that. But he wasn't saying this 20 years ago when his brother Nas was giving him handouts. He wants to conveniently turn around, 20 years later and say, no, in fact, it was Nas who was wrong. Brendan was in the right. Nas is morbidly obese and he's a fucking horrible, selfish person and he treated Brendan badly. You know, that's how his brother started acting when Nas cut him off financially. Yeah, he tried to make a Netflix documentary slagging off his own brother. Saying, oh, he's this and that, you know, oh, poor me, I never had an identity of my own when I was young because I was known as Nas's brother. Yeah, but you rode the fuck out of that. You milked that. You lived off that. You lived off your brother being Prince Naseem Hamed, the entertaining boxer who knocked people out in the second round and did flips into the ring and, you know, came to the ring on a magic carpet, you know what I mean? Hanging around with P. Diddy and fucking Michael Jackson. Yeah, all the fame that Nas had, Nas's brother lived off it, you know, and milked Nas for years until Nas just said, enough is enough now. You're on your own, man. You're a grown man. You should have invested all the money that I gave you, into something that's going to provide for you and your kids and your wife. But he didn't. He just squandered the money, you know, and his wife divorced him, kicked him out the house. And then he ended up just like stumbling around Sheffield, you know, drunk. You know what I mean? Really struggling to survive, you know, on his own 2 feet without Nas there to fucking give him handouts and help him out along the way. You know, thinking that Naseem Hamed money would last forever, but it didn't, did it? It started to dry up. So in a last ditch effort to make a few quid, he ran to the papers, you know, to sell a story on his own brother Nas. Because like, not only was Nas giving him money, but a very, very reliable source from the gym told me that Nas, he took 2 big bags full of cash, you know, to his mum and dad's house. And he emptied all the cash, you know, onto their living room carpet and said, this money's for you. So Nas was always like sorting out his mum and dad, you know what I mean? But then his mum and dad died, innit? So the fucking Hamed family are like really fighting, you know, for that money that Nas gave to his mum and dad. So his brother tried to like run to the papers, you know, dissing Nas. Family feud. Prince Naseem Hamed locked in £12 million family feud over late parents' fortune. Ex-boxer Prince Naseem Hamed is locked in a £12 million family feud, his brother says. You know, that's the brother who just died, who tried to rob Nas. Nas, 48, is reportedly demanding all of his late parents' fortune, but his siblings are contesting it. His brother Ali says they have been communicating via lawyers since their mum died 2 years ago. And the ex-boxer is piling on weight. You see what I mean? What's that got to do with anything? He's piling on weight. Yeah, I've been speaking to lawyers and Nas is piling on weight. You know what I mean? It's like he's just trying to have a go, innit? You know, just trying to get that little dig in there, bringing up things that are irrelevant. Ali, 44, said his weight is a result of the trauma and stress. He's turned in on himself and just eaten and eaten. You see him trying to have a go there. The row centres on money Naseem gave to his parents to buy property, which has risen in value to £12 million. Naseem, who was worth £50 million before quitting boxing in 2002 at 28, claims he is entitled to all of that. The row is now due to be settled in a Dubai courtroom. Ali, who lives in Sheffield where Naseem was born, added, so much of his wealth was pissed up a wall, including buying the biggest mango farm in Yemen that is now all dead and dishevelled. Ali dedicated his interview to Naseem Hamed's late boxing trainer Brendan Ingle and said of his brother recently seen in Windsor, he's just being greedy. The more you eat in life, the more hungry you are. So he constantly tries to have a go at Naz's weight, don't he? You know, Naz's brother. So that's what he did. He gave, you know, his mum and dad money and that. So now they're dead. You know, the brother, he's trying to get to that cash, isn't he? Ali Hamed. You know, he's being a snide. He's trying to say that he's entitled to it, but it was Naz who gave him the money, you know what I mean? And he was the one who got in the ring, you know, and got fucked up by Barrera. You know, that tough little Mexican who gave Naz his only professional defeat. Yeah? Where was his brother then? Just sat there watching, you know, waiting for Naz to get a paycheck from that Barrera beatdown, you know, so he can milk some more money off Naz. You know what I mean? What was he doing? Just sitting there saying, oh, fuck Brendan. You don't deserve 25% of your earnings. You know, trying to shortchange Brendan, who trained Naz from a little kid, from the age of 7. They were trying to force Brendan out, you know, by trying to reduce his percentage, you know, so there'd be more money in the family for them to rob. You know, we'll look after your money and save you a few quid, so there's more money to go around for us. Fuck Brendan. You're God gifted, you don't need Brendan. You can have any trainer and do well, and then you see what happened. You see him get fucked up by Barrera, but, you know, Naz getting in there with that little tough Mexican, and, you know, what was his brother doing during these times? You know, just hanging around like fucking AKA Skins. You remember that guy? He used to hang around Joshua in it all the time for sexual reasons. And then, like, I pointed it out in a video, yeah. And Joshua got rid of him after that. You know, and just said, yeah, he's right, man. You're fucking useless, man. And that's the same with Naz's brother. He's fucking useless, man. You know, his brother boxed as well, but he just thought, fuck boxing, you know, it's too hard. And he just packed it in, you know, and pussed it out and just tried to live off his brother Naz. And then he started complaining, you know, to the newspapers when he ran to them. He was saying, oh, I didn't have an identity of my own. I was just known as Naz's brother. You know, I felt neglected by the family, like they were paying more attention to Naz than they were me. But of course your dad spent more time on Naz and was more proud, you know, in talking about Naz than he was talking about you. It's just expected, isn't it? So this guy, he was like a big fucking baby, man. You know, when someone's willing to put in all that work and get in there and get fucked up by Barrera, you know what I mean? It's natural that he's going to be like the main one, you know what I mean? He could have made a name for himself, you know, by pursuing boxing and trying to get somewhere. But he didn't want to do it, did he? He just wanted an easy life, you know, and just milk his brother for a few quid. You know, getting knocked down by Kevin Kelly and just getting up and toughing it out, you know, and eventually fucking up Kevin Kelly. You know, what was his brother doing during these times? He was just fucking useless, you know, just hanging around, trying to milk it, trying to ride that gravy train and just get free handouts from his brother Naz, you know what I mean? So now they've all fell out, yeah. Brother died, but all the other brothers and sisters, they're all fighting and battling in court and stuff like that. You know, it's a shambles, isn't it? It's like the Hatton family. They're a fucking shambles as well, aren't they? You know, with Ricky Hatton's mum, you know, robbing her son, Ricky Hatton. She was looking after his money, you know, when he fought Mayweather. You remember that? You remember when Mayweather made him headbutt the corner of the ring? She told him that he was supposed to be getting £5 million, but he's supposed to be getting £7 million. But she pocketed £2 million, and then took her manager's deduction. You know, and the family, they all had a big bust up, and they all fell out, and people was taking sides. You know what I mean, between Ricky Hatton and Ricky Hatton's mum. You know what I mean, the family was just all over the place. So they're all at it, aren't they? Yeah, Ricky Hatton's got himself some new posse, hasn't he? What do you think of that? He left Campbell Hatton's mum, you know, and just shacked up with this blonde bimbo, this gold digger. It's obvious what's going on here, isn't it? It's just obvious, isn't it? Like Ricky Hatton, you know what I mean? These kind of women, yeah, they normally target men who have got money, who are unhealthy, and they're about to die any minute. You know, and we've seen Ricky Hatton blow up in weight and crash the weight off and blow up again and fucking snort coke and all this other shit, acting daft, you know, drunk, you know, he's got a fucked up liver. He's like George Best, basically. He's like the boxing version of George Best. Not as talented as George Best was a footballer, Hatton, but that kind of lifestyle, you know, like Maradona as well. So Hatton probably hasn't got long left, you know. When you crash in weight off like that, when you're up and down in weight, you know, like not a few pounds, like stones and stones, you crashing that off, your body fucks up, man. It will start to malfunction. So she probably knows Hatton is probably on his last legs, you know what I mean? So she's conveniently got in there. You know, Hatton's made a load of money, you know, fighting people like Mayweather. You remember that? You remember when Mayweather made him headbutt the corner of the ring? You know, when Hatton tried to charge him, you know, Mayweather countered him with a check left hook. You know, and it's made him headbutt the corner of the ring. Even though Hatton, he was like, remember when he was taking the piss out of Mayweather's fancy pad routines with Roger Mayweather? Hatton was like, oh, it's all right throwing all those punches and tip-tapping and all that, but I can just throw one big punch and it'll cancel out all of these little silly punches that Mayweather's throwing on the pads. You know what I mean? He was like trying to discredit Mayweather on it, and then Mayweather made him do that. So it backfired, didn't it? And then he fucking got in there with Pacquiao, and Pacquiao messed him up. Boy, he's still got big paydays, you know, fighting Mayweather and Pacquiao. So this little gold digger here, she's conveniently wormed her way in and seen that he's vulnerable and he's down and he's probably upset with how his son Campbell Hatton's career's going, and you know what I mean? Shit like that. Big bust up with his mum and dad, and so she targeted him, you know, seeing that he was vulnerable and just making a fool of himself. So she just crept in there, and you know, we know how that story's going to end, don't we? He's just reaching out, and he reached out to this little fucking bimbo, this little gold digger here, and she's probably going to milk him, isn't she? But it's his life, so whatever. But yeah, she's a bit of a step up probably from Campbell Hatton's mum. She probably is a bit better looking, but she probably hasn't got anything to her. There's probably no substance. It's probably just superficial. You can tell in it with the lips and the fucking makeup and all that shit, the pouting and all that silly shit. You know what I mean? So he chose to upgrade in a way, Hatton, but they all do it, don't they? Carl Froch did it, I told you. I knew Carl Froch back in the amateur days when he was broke. Yeah, when he was pretty much homeless. You know, and he had this ugly girlfriend. She was fucking horrible, man. Looking wise, I didn't know her as a person in it, but she was a bit ugly. But then Carl Froch, you know, Carl Froch was getting like 15 grand. This is what he said. That fat cunt, Mick Hennessy, was paying Carl Froch peanuts. He paid him 15 grand to box this guy called Charles Adamu, this black African, this tough guy. Carl Froch had a tough fight with him. Mick Hennessy, according to Froch, robbed him, you know, and paid him peanuts. Just like he gave me 2 poxy grand, you know, to box Chris Eubank Jr. live on Channel 5. That fat cunt Mick Hennessy. But they all leave him in the end, innit? Because they know what he's like. But when Carl Froch got with Eddie Hearn, you know, and became like pay-per-view. You remember when he made George Groves fall on his own leg? You know, he got a big payday for that. That was a big pay-per-view event, you know, in front of 80,000. We know the story, don't we? So Carl Froch, when he cashed in, he got the nice fancy wife, Rachel Cordingley Froch. You know what I mean? He stepped his sexual game up, you know, when his financial game stepped up when he left that fucking Mick Hennessy and went to Eddie Hearn. So they all do it, don't they, really? The only one who's like sticking with it is Terence Crawford, you know, with a fat wife. You know what I mean? I don't want to diss him too much. I've kind of been through all that. I've got a newfound respect for Terence Crawford. You know, after fucking up Errol Spence like that. Remember that beautiful hook? It was a good, perfectly timed shot on it. Counted him nicely. But he's kind of stuck with the fat wife, and I kind of rate him for that, innit? But people like Froch, when they come into money, they leave their girlfriend and get a better looking girlfriend. Same with Ricky Hatton. You know, he's with Campbell Hatton's mum, who's okay, nothing special. But then he's got with her, who's still not special. She's not all that, but she's younger, innit? So Hatton probably fancies some younger pussy, you know, something new, fresh. Naseem Hamed stuck with his wife, yeah. Alicia, he stuck with her. I seen a video of him the other day, and she, you know what I mean, she probably came around when Nas started to become a somebody. I remember Dominic Ingle saying to me, you know, when Nas started to make it in boxing, and he was becoming a bit of a celebrity and making a load of cash. Nas started getting a bit of pussy, you know, and he started to make it in boxing. You know, Dominic. He said that Nas said to him, yeah, Dominic, yeah, the women are really into me. Women are into me. And Dominic said, yeah, it's only because you got money. And Nas was like, no, I've got the looks. I've got a good personality. And Dominic was like, you're 5'4". You've got big ears, yeah, and you've got gaps in your teeth. These women are only with you for money. But Nas was like, no, they really like me. They said I'm really good looking. And Dominic was like, shut up, man. Dominic wasn't trying to hear it. And it's true, innit? Nas started getting a bit of pussy, you know, and he started to make it in boxing. But he seems to have stuck with his wife. He's probably cheated on her. There was a few stories about him getting with strippers and stuff like that in the paper. But that's, you know, it's one of them things, innit? These women will just say anything to get a little payday. But he seems to have stuck with his wife, yeah. Alicia, he's stuck with her. Same with Tyson Fury, you know, he keeps having kids with that little Paris Fury. But, you know, he's banging about, man. Just obvious, innit? Yeah, Tyson's avoiding the Ngannou rematch, innit? You know, like how he avoided the John McDermott rematch. He don't want it with any of them at all, does he, Tyson Fury? You know, Tyson, yeah. You know, him and his dad, John Fury, you know, they've kind of like lived off this whole gypsy, bare knuckle, tough fighting man, poking people's eyeballs out hype, aren't they? But, you know, with this Ngannou, you know, Tyson and John Fury, they can't be fucking trying to put it on him like that. You know, trying to bully him and, you know, trying to intimidate him. You know, with these little eyeball poking tactics of John Fury's and, you know, all this bare knuckle shit. They knew full well they couldn't try all that, you know, with Francis Ngannou. You know, and you kind of seen that in the performance from Tyson as well. He kind of pussed it out, didn't he? He didn't want it at all, did he, Tyson Fury? But yeah, he's definitely banging about, you know, behind Paris's back. Just obvious, innit? But he knows full well he didn't beat Francis Ngannou, don't he? He fucking knows, man. But yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up, you know. I need to go to the gym. I've got a fight next week, yeah? You can watch the fight, you know, on a YouTube channel called Boxing King Media. It's getting streamed on that YouTube channel, so if you want to watch it there, you can. If you want to come, the link's in the description. But if you want to just chill out, you know, and watch it on YouTube, you can do. But I'm gonna wrap this up. Thanks for tuning in again, yeah? Thanks for that.